Hello and welcome back to History Adulan. Today we are going to study new lesson from 6th standard on the trail of earliest people. To begin with, let us see one short story of a boy called Tushar. Tushar was traveling by train from Delhi to Chennai. On the way, he enjoyed the train journey. In between, his uncle told him that the railway by which they were traveling was invented somewhat 150 years back, and the buses, trucks, four-wheelers and other vehicles were introduced somewhat 3 to 4 decades later. Tushar was quite surprised to listen to this information. If the trains were invented and they were in use just 150 years before, then what was the mode of transport for the people before that? He came to know that people were using horses, ox, camels, yaks and different animals for transportation and to carry the goods from one place to another place. So, the thought process began in the mind of Tushar. Tushar started thinking how the early people were living. Was there any mode of transport for them? Or they were staying at one place or moving for their livelihood? So let's go and find out more about the past, that is on the trail of earliest people. The earliest people, why were they on the move? Somewhat 2 million years ago, early people were always on move. They were called hunters and gatherers. They were dependent on animals and plants for their food. Early man killed animals, catch birds, fish. They were called hunters. They hunt them for meat, hide, fur or bones. While those who collected or gathered variety of plants produce were called gatherer. They collected leaves, fruits, roots, stalks, eggs, etc. and used as a food. This hunting and gathering was not an easy process. It was tough job, since animals, birds or fish whom they were catching were fast, quick and strong, and people need to be alert, quick, skilled and should have lot of presence of mind. Even people need to be careful while gathering plants, because some plants are edible while some are non-edible. Some are even poisonous, so need to have proper knowledge about the plants. Some plants are seasonal, hence one need to know when they grow, ripe, so on and so forth. Here is a question. What kind of skills children of hunters and gatherers must have? Like climbing tree, mountain, swimming in the river and sea, hunting, collecting fruits, cutting wood, stone, bone, playing with the old tools like that of stone and wood, etc. So, here is a question to think. Do you have any such skills? Think and answer. Hunter-gatherers were always on move. Why they were moving from one place to another place? The historians and archaeologists have listed 4 major reasons for their mobility. Reason number 1. If hunter and gatherers stayed at one place or one area, then that may lead to the exhaust or the end of the resources. That's why they were always moving from one place to another place in search of food. So that is the first reason. Second, to follow the movement of animals, because hunters, they required meat of animal to eat and survive. That's why they were following the movement of animals, and that was the second reason why they were moving. Thirdly, gatherers moved from one place to another place in search of plants, because they had the knowledge and information about the growing of different seasonal plants and availability of plant. So during that season, people were traveling or going from one place to another place. And the fourth reason is in search of water. Maybe hunters or gatherers, they were moving in search of water. Water that may be the perennial source of water or the seasonal water. Whenever there is availability of round the year water, that is called perennial source, hunters and gatherers did not had any problem in staying. But when during this seasonal water or water used to get dry up during the summer season, that time they were moving from that part. So this is what, wherever there was availability of water, hunters and gatherers were moving towards that place. So that is the fourth reason. You may be wondering, how do we know about the past? We know about the past with the help of sources. Sources like the tools made from stone, bone, wood, etc. And these sources are studied by the scholars like archaeologists and historians. So who are historians and who are archaeologists? First, let us find out who are historians. Historians are the scholars who study about the past with the help of available sources. And archaeologists are also scholars who study about the past objects and the remains like bones, stones, utensils, cloths, etc. They also undertake excavation, that is the digging under the ground and studying about the past remains. Choosing a place to live in. Early man was quite smart enough while choosing the place to live in. Early man used to live near the river, near the lake, wherever there was a perennial source of water or seasonal water. Same time, they were choosing some places like good quality stone. They were living inside the caves, on the tree or under the bushes. Same time, let's see the map 2 in book. There are many evidences found of hunter and gatherers in some of the early Paleolithic sites like Hansgi, Kurnul and Bhimbedka. See Hansgi, this is a place in Karnataka. Then Kurnul, place in present day Hyderabad, Telangana. Then Bhimbedka, a place in Madhya Pradesh. If you think of these places, we will find there were some habitation site and some habitation come factory site and some factory site. Now what are habitation sites? Wherever there was a water source and early people were living near to the water source, these places of their habitation were known as habitation site. While there was good quality stone available and early people started living near to these places, was called factory sites. And even the evidences of blocks, tools are found, the remains are found at these archaeological sites. Sometimes hunters and gatherers were staying near to the source of water, and even the good quality stone was also available to prepare the goods. So this type of feature was also called habitation cum factory site. Let's find out about making of stone tools. How the stone tools were made? They were made using two techniques called stone on stone technique and the pressure flaking. Stone on stone technique or simple technique. In this, they were using one stone in one hand, that is called core, and another stone in the another hand, and they were hitting it above each other in order to give the required or the desired shape. In this way, they were preparing different stone tools. And second technique was called pressure flaking. What is this pressure flaking? They were taking one big stone, keeping on the ground, and with the help of another stone, they were hitting it above that and they were giving it desired shape. So these are the two techniques available in the prehistoric period about the making stone tools. Finding out about fire. Today, fire has become important part of our everyday life. In the past, when fire was invented, by hitting the two stones above each other. That day onward, this fire was used as a source of light to cook the food and also to protect themselves in the wood or the jungles, because they were using this fire to protect themselves from the animals. So this was what the use of fire, and there are some evidences, proof is found about the early man using the fire in a Paleolithic site at Kurnool. Kurnool is a place in present day Hyderabad, Golconda. A changing environment. By 12,000 years ago, there was a change in climatic conditions of the earth. Earlier, the climatic conditions were little cold, but now there was a rise in temperature and climatic conditions become warmer. Due to this, new grasslands had grown. This attracted animals like deer, antelope, goat, sheep, cattle, etc. This also increased their number in the grasslands. This was followed by hunting animals and the hunters into this region. When people started living in association with animals, they started observing and studying the animals' breed and their habits. They also started herding and domesticating animals. Fishing also became important activity. With change in climatic conditions of the world and development of grassland, there were some early men who developed skills to grow wheat, barley, rice, and other grains. They studied, observed how the plants are growing and what are their ripening season. This study is further developed as an art of farming. Names and dates. Archaeologists have given lengthy names for the time that we are studying. They call the earliest period as Paleolithic. This comes from two Greek words, paleo meaning old and lithos meaning stone. Same time, the long stretch of time is divided into lower, middle and upper Paleolithic. This long span of time covers 99% of human history. The period when we find environmental changes beginning about 12,000 years ago till about 10,000 years ago is called Mesolithic or the Middle Stone Age. Stone tools found during this period are generally tiny and are called microliths. Microliths were probably stuck onto the handle of bone or wood to make tools such as saws and sickles, hammers and axes. At the same time, older varieties of tools continued to be used. The next stage, about 10,000 years ago, is known as Neolithic. Rock paintings and what they tell us. Many of the caves in which these early people lived have paintings on the walls. Some of the best examples are from Madhya Pradesh and southern Uttar Pradesh. This painting shows wild animals drawn with great accuracy and skills. Ostriches in India. Ostriches were found in India during the Paleolithic period. Large quantities of ostrich eggs shells were found at Patna in Maharashtra. Designs were engraved on some pieces while beads were also made out of them. Now, let's have a closer look at Hansgi, one of the archaeological sites. A number of early Paleolithic sites were found here. At some sites, a large number of tools used for all sorts of activities were found. These were probably habitation cum factory site, where there was a source of water. At the same time, a good quality stone was available and people started having their habitation over here, since it was called habitation cum factory site. In some of the other smaller sites, there is evidence to suggest that tools were also made. Some of the sites were close to springs. Most tools were made from limestone, which was locally available. Elsewhere, in France, 4 school-going children discovered a cave 100 years ago. The paintings on the walls of these caves were similar to that of the paintings between 20,000 to 10,000 years ago. Many of these paintings were of animals, and the colors made from minerals like water or iron ore and charcoal. It is possible that these paintings were done on ceremonial occasions, or perhaps they were made for special rituals, maybe performed by hunters before they went in search of prey. That's all about our lesson on the trail of earliest people. We studied in this lesson the life of hunter and gatherers some 20 lakhs years ago. And we also studied about their lifestyle, food habit, invention of fire, and how they prepared stone tools, which place they prefer to live, why they were called habitation, why their place were also called factory site, and so many things were discussed. Also, we discussed the transformation that came over the period of 20 lakh years ago till the 12,000, and how there was a climatic change and there was rise in temperature, and especially in the tropical region of the world, especially how the grasslands have developed, and with the development of grasslands, how the animals started coming in this area, and how the other animals who were feeding on this animal, they started following, and how the hunters and gatherers also move into these areas, and slowly how the people who were wandering in the beginning, they were moving from one place to another in search of food, clothing, and other things for their basic requirement. Now how they started living a settled life. So this is what the very important part in our history. We will say this is as a prehistoric time, a stone age, that is 90% of our history is hidden in this prehistoric time. So this is our lesson on the trail of earliest people. We tried to go back and find out how was the living being of the early man. So that's all. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for the next class.